We are here with new episode. When a massive cruise ship, essentially a floating city, gets caught in a violent storm, what was supposed to be a dream vacation turns into a nightmare. Passengers who were looking forward to relaxing by the pool with cocktails and enjoying lively entertainment suddenly find themselves struggling to survive. Towering waves, as high as skyscrapers, crash against the ship. The vessel groans under the immense pressure of the storm, and chaos takes over. Cruise liners, though built to provide luxury and comfort, are still vulnerable to the raw power of nature. Cruise ships have evolved significantly since the era of the Titanic. Modern vessels are designed with state-of-the-art technology, offering passengers a world of luxury, from high-end restaurants and lavish spas to Broadway-style performances and advanced casinos. These floating resorts aim to deliver the ultimate vacation experience. However, despite their size and technological advancements, they remain at the mercy of the ocean. The sea is unpredictable and incredibly powerful, capable of tossing even the largest ships like toys in a storm. While cruise ships are equipped with advanced stabilizers and navigation systems, these tools have their limits when faced with extreme weather conditions. When a powerful storm engulfs a cruise ship, the consequences can be devastating. Passengers who boarded with visions of carefree relaxation suddenly find themselves in the midst of sheer terror. The luxurious amenities that once provided comfort become dangerous as furniture is flung across rooms, glass shatters, and water floods in through broken windows. The ship's crew, trained for emergencies, works tirelessly to maintain order and ensure passenger safety, but even they are not immune to the overwhelming chaos of a storm at sea. To measure the severity of storms, mariners rely on the Beaufort scale, a system developed in the early 19th century by British Admiral Sir Francis Beaufort. This scale assigns a number from 0 to 12 to describe wind speeds and sea conditions. A Beaufort Force 0 represents completely calm seas, with no wind at all, while a Force 12 storm signifies a hurricane with winds exceeding 73 miles per hour and waves towering over 46 feet high. The scale is a valuable tool not only for sailors and meteorologists but also for cruise passengers, helping them understand the potential dangers they may face at sea. While cruise ships are built to endure severe weather, they are not invincible. A storm at Beaufort Force 8, with wind speeds between 39 and 46 miles per hour and waves reaching 18 to 25 feet, can make the ship roll and pitch violently, making it difficult for passengers to move safely. At Force 10, winds increase to 55 to 63 miles per hour, and waves swell to 29 to 41 feet, forcing passengers to stay in their cabins for safety. A Force 12 hurricane is the most dangerous, with winds exceeding 73 miles per hour and waves over 46 feet high. Under such extreme conditions, even the most technologically advanced cruise ships risk capsizing or suffering severe damage. In some cases, passengers must be evacuated, either by lifeboats or emergency airlifts, to ensure their survival. One of the most terrifying cruise ship experiences occurred in January 2018, when the Norwegian Breakaway found itself caught in a massive winter storm known as a bomb cyclone. The ship, carrying 6,000 passengers, was on a journey from New York to the Bahamas when it was hit by heavy snow, powerful winds, and violent seas. Instead of seeking shelter, the captain decided to continue through the storm, a decision that was later heavily criticized by passengers. As the ship battled through 40-foot waves and gusts of wind reaching 125 miles per hour, chaos erupted on board. Passengers were thrown around like rag dolls as furniture slid across rooms, glass shattered, and icy water rushed through broken windows and doors. The ship became unrecognizable, covered in snow and ice, with icicles hanging from the railings. The wind rocked the vessel violently, causing people to lose their footing. Dishes and unsecured objects flew off shelves, while sun loungers on the open deck were twisted like splinters by the wind. Many passengers had no choice but to sleep in hallways and public areas because their cabins had been flooded. Others were trapped in their rooms due to severe seasickness and the ship's extreme tilting. Some even fell out of their beds, suffering broken bones and concussions. Fear gripped the passengers, with some wearing life jackets continuously for 3 days. Water poured into elevator shafts, flooded hallways, and dripped from ceilings. Crew members tried their best to manage the flooding by using extra blankets, clothes, and towels, but their efforts were futile. Throughout the ordeal, Passengers felt abandoned and frustrated, as the ship's crew and captain provided little information. Many turned to social media, venting their fear and anger, vowing never to sail with the Norwegian breakaway again. What was meant to be a perfect vacation had transformed into a frozen nightmare, leaving a lasting scar on everyone aboard. A similar disaster occurred on February 14, 2005, aboard the Grand Voyager. This cruise ship was sailing from Tunis, Tunisia, to Barcelona, Spain, on what was supposed to be a romantic Valentine's Day voyage. Instead of a celebration filled with chocolates and roses, passengers were met with one of the most harrowing encounters with nature they would ever experience. As the ship entered the Balearic Sea, the storm's fury began to unfold, changing their journey into a fight for survival. It was a dark and stormy night, and the air was filled with an eerie silence, broken only by the occasional rustling of leaves. The small town of Ravenwood had always been known for its mysterious past, with stories of haunted houses, vanishing people, and strange noises in the dead of night. However, nothing had prepared the residents for what was about to unfold. In the heart of the town stood an old, decrepit mansion known as the Blackwood Estate. It had been abandoned for decades, its windows shattered, and its walls covered in vines. Legends spoke of the spirits of those who had once lived there, trapped between the realms of the living and the dead. Some said the house was cursed, and others believed it was a portal to another dimension. One stormy evening, a group of teenagers, eager for a thrill, decided to enter the mansion. They had heard whispers about a hidden room that held the secret to the mansion's curse. Armed with flashlights and trembling with excitement and fear, they pushed open the creaking door and stepped inside. The air inside was thick with dust, and the wooden floor groaned under their weight. As they moved deeper into the mansion, the temperature seemed to drop. The walls were lined with portraits of unknown people, their eyes seeming to follow the intruders. One of the teenagers, Mark, led the way with his flashlight, his heart pounding in his chest. Suddenly, the door behind them slammed shut with a deafening bang. The group screamed, their voices echoing through the empty halls. They tried to reopen the door, but it wouldn't budge. Panic set in as they realized they were trapped. Just then, a faint whisper filled the air. It was a voice, soft and sorrowful, calling out a name none of them recognized. The sound seemed to come from the depths of the mansion, luring them forward. Despite their fear, curiosity got the better of them, and they followed the voice to a large, ornate door at the end of the hallway. Mark hesitated before pushing it open. Inside, the room was surprisingly well kept compared to the rest of the house. A grand chandelier hung from the ceiling, its candles flickering despite the lack of wind. At the center of the room stood a large wooden chest, its surface covered in ancient symbols. The whispering grew louder, urging them to open it. With shaking hands, one of the girls, Emily, knelt down and lifted the lid. A gust of icy wind burst forth, extinguishing their flashlights. The room plunged into darkness, and the whispers turned into agonized screams. A shadowy figure emerged from the chest, its hollow eyes staring directly at them. The group scrambled back, their breaths coming in short gasps. The figure raised a skeletal hand and pointed at them. The walls of the mansion trembled, and an unseen force began pulling them toward the chest. Mark grabbed onto a nearby chair, struggling to resist the pull. Emily shrieked as she felt her feet lift off the ground. Just as all hope seemed lost, the front door burst open, and a bright light flooded the room. The force holding them vanished, and the shadowy figure let out a final, agonized wail before disappearing. The group tumbled to the floor, gasping for breath. They didn't waste a second. Scrambling to their feet, they ran out of the mansion, never looking back. When they reached the safety of the town, they turned to see the Blackwood Estate standing as silent and ominous as before. But something had changed. The windows that were once shattered were now whole, and the mansion no longer looked abandoned. No one believed their story, dismissing it as a wild imagination. But the teenagers knew the truth. They had uncovered something dark, something that was never meant to be disturbed. And as they lay in bed that night, they could still hear the whispers calling their names, a chilling reminder that the horrors of the Blackwood Estate were far from over. Thanks for watching.